One thing queer, one thing queer, one thing queer. Let's get one thing queer. Let's get one thing queer. Hello and welcome to One Thing Queer. My name's Jenny Baton and my pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Kelsey Wren and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, friend.
Hey.
Here we go again.
I know. We are recording the next day after Sandy.
Yes, we're pre-recording.
Pre-recording.
Because I'm going to be a vaga. A vaga is like someone that like is never home.
Oh, okay.
Vago.
I was like, vacay?
Well, I'm using the feminine term for it, vaga, vago. There's like vague, maybe, is like the gender neutral.
That's an interesting, like, it's hard with that, with Spanish because everything is gendered. No?
Everything is gendered. So that's like so difficult. But I actually do want to touch base on that.
Oh my God, yes.
So before we...
I was the second episode in the row, we just shoot right past the shoot the shit.
Yeah, we're shooting the shit. Shooting the shit.
Perfect.
That wasn't...
Nailed
and those
it.
weren't any of the shooting the shit sounds.
Nailed it.
Was it that one? Or which one was it?
We never remember. I think it was the other one.
Okay, I'm done. I promise I'm done. Okay. You get the point.
Yeah, we're pre-recording, so if something's happened and we're not touching base on it, that's because we recorded before the Sandy episode came out, but I'm sure it's fine.
Yes.
And it was great. Sandy was great, and it was a trip to hear me talk to myself.
It was a trip watching you talk to yourself in a different body. It was like an outer body experience for me. I was like, whoa. It's like you incarnated.
A little bit.
In the same lifetime.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I'm like, were we like, I don't know,
Cap sisters
in past lives or
Probably.
something like that, because it felt like there's just so many commonalities. It was cool, but very trippy.
I think it's just soul family vibes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. But it was so great having Sandy. It's always exciting when we have someone that like understands what we're talking about and someone that has like their own experiences in spirituality. And I loved hearing about her experiences with mushrooms and psychedelics and all that. And I learned a lot. From her. And I always get super excited when I learn from other people in this realm of spirituality, because that's really what it falls under. It's like we all kind of learn from each other.
Yeah, it was nice too, even just like hearing, like, cause we all have invalidating thoughts in our head, and to hear that you're not alone in that, especially for somebody figuring out their like sexuality, which is like a big part of your life. It's just really nice to hear that. I felt very like comforted and like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy, like it's totally a thing, like other people have this, and I feel like that's a lot of what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
Which is, you're not crazy out there, we feel it too.
Yeah, I think there's like a beauty to realizing that we're all kind of one. Like we all have traumas. We all carry, similar situations at one point. We all have some sort of commonality, believe it or not. Every single person on this planet. There's going to be one thing that you have in common with someone.
Definitely.
And it's just trippy when you find someone that you have a lot in common with.
I'm just like, it was like looking in a mirror. It's like, it was just so, because it's also too, like, I feel that we had talked about being insecure and like rethinking about what we're going to say, and like, because I always, after every episode, I still do that. Like, not that it's been like years of podcasting, but like
it feels like
it does. And like it's still like I'm like thinking about what I said for days afterwards, and I'm like, oh, what did I say? And every time it's fine. And it's just like, it's funny that I feel with Sandy, it's the same thing, that like no one has ever put that in. Like it's our own pressures that we put on ourselves, and not really anybody else's. Sometimes it is other people's voices, but that insecurity is like our own need to be perfect, I guess, which is,
or to validate our emotions. I agree.
Yeah.
So
That was great.
That was so fun. And we did a little something after. We hung out with Sandy after we recorded, and that was fun. We had some pizza.
Yeah.
And I did Reiki on everyone.
Yes, you did.
It was so fun.
It was really, I mean, again, we just passed by this shoot the shit, by the way.
Yeah, we did. We keep passing, like...
this is way more, everybody trust me, this is way more exciting than, we've just been working. Like,
yeah,
this is all we've been doing.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even get to shoot the shit in Sandy's episode, so it's like a trend.
I was working. That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I did that week.
Same.
So, but yeah, the Reiki session was wild. It was like, that's how I explain it, because crazy is not accurate. It was really, really cool and like just it's trippy.
It was trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So in person, I've done, how many people? I did Val and you guys. I've done 4 people in person.
Yeah.
And then I did one for my client energetically. Like I asked her for permission to do Reiki on her. And whenever you do Reiki, if anybody's not familiar with it, you have to ask the higher self of the soul of the person that you're doing Reiki on. And if we get the approval, then you're ready for the healing. So I've done her, and then I did a little bit on your dog yesterday too.
Oh, yes. She was so into it.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I could tell she was very interested in what you were doing, and like she just kind of like, we had like the music on too, and like you could just tell she's like
she was zen. She was in a zen space.
She was very chill. Like,
oh, I have such, okay, before we talk about or should I leave it for, okay,
go.
So last night, yay, I can meditate. I was like, okay, I don't have anything to do. I got home, from your house, and I was like, okay, I don't have anything to do. I'm like, I really want to meditate. And my girl, Pura Raza on YouTube, if y'all are looking for meditations, like one of the first times I meditated, I found her page on YouTube, and I ended up levitating. I know it sounds crazy. I know some of y'all are going to be like, you're full of bullshit. It is what it is, whatever you believe. But I definitely levitated. Kind of like, okay, I hope that happens again. Even though it's not really great for you to levitate, because it just means that you're not grounded. But anyways, past that. Last night I did a meditation that she has about going to outer space.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I did that one, and it was like a 35-minute meditation, and I was definitely, I'm not really sure if I was asleep or if I was just like in deep meditative state. But Val got there like towards the tail end of my meditation, and she was being quiet, but I was like, I literally had the pillow on top of my eyes because I really wanted to like be in this. And I had this sensation of like vibrating lower. Like I was literally like,
whoa,
like shake, like I felt like I was tumbling down back to earth when she got there.
Wow.
Like it was like shaking. I felt like my body like going like I can't I can't explain it to y'all, but it literally just like felt like I was like traveling. Like it was like zigzagging, like my soul down back to my body.
Wow.
That was the experience I felt during that meditation. And it was trippy, but it was incredible. And when she got there, I like ended up waking up, and it was just incredible. And I think it was because I was like in a grounded space yesterday, because I did all the sessions. Because I did your partner, and Sandy. So it was, I think, a good time for me to meditate, and I was being called to do it. So that was trippy.
Yeah, I did this morning as well.
You did?
With, I can't.
Pura Rasa.
That's it. I'm all Pura
Rasa.
Pura Rasa.
It's Pura and then SA. Oh, wait. RA. Anyways. Pura Rasa.
Yeah, Purarasa.
Yes.
There you go. Yeah,
we'll link it in the notes.
She has a very great soothing voice, because we had you did mine last night, so it was like, oh, like I felt very into it this morning, and like it's as Capricorns, we are very skeptical. That's why
I know.
It's why it takes us a long time to get out of our flippin' brains and out of our ruts. It's because we're skeptical. But I'm a saying yes this year.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's do this. But so I was like, okay, this is what I feel like I need to do today. So I was like, okay, let me try a beginner one, because the first time I meditated, I was like, fuck beginner, I got this when I don't got it. So I was like, okay, let me just, oh, hello, watch. Interrupting. So I was like, let me just try a beginner one. So it was just nice. Like, I had did some other stuff, and we were talking about like during the session, like opening a crown chakra and like your third eye and stuff. And I was like, okay, let me like do some stuff today to like not seal it, but like continue on with that, like in that vein of stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't know. It just felt like, and it was a weird morning because like I had a hair appointment, but she had canceled, and I was like all ready to go, showered and ready to go. And I was like, well, it's like 7 a.m. What do I do now?
Yeah.
What do I do with my time? So I was like, I never really get to like sit on the couch in the morning and like chill and like drink coffee and stuff. So I was like, I did that for a little bit. And I was like, what am I doing? Let me go upstairs. And like, that's where like my stuff is at. So I was like, let me see what I can get into. And like, I don't know, I felt my cards calling to me. So I was like, let me try it. And like I said, I mean, I know everybody's like, skeptical. Like, yeah, like you said, like, I don't really care if you think it's bullshit. It was like, there was things that happened last night that like I did not tell you I saw, and you knew that I saw that. And I was like, how did you know that? It was really trippy.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about
We
it?
could.
Okay, so first I'll like talk a little bit about like my whole experience of being in Reiki. So I got certified last week to work on other people. I'm on level 2, and I'm planning on doing Reiki Master in a couple weeks. I'm practicing right now on people, and I really have enjoyed it. Like, I remember, like, I had done it energetically for like my parents and for my friend. And then I did it on Val. And after I did it on Val, it's a little bit different when you do it in person, because I could actually get feedback from people. And going into Reiki, the first part of it, like even me, like I was still skeptical. I was like, a little part of me, like my human little self was like, this is bullshit. How is it possible? I want to eventually like create a little bit side business in Reiki. I'm like, how am I supposed to charge people? Like, I do believe in it because I believe in energy, but I was like, I'm like, are they really getting something out of it? And and that was before I even did it on anyone. And then as soon as I did it on Val, like my partner's not gonna lie to me. Yeah. So when I did it on my partner and I heard their feedback, I was like, really? Like, wow, that's so cool. Like, I didn't know, like obviously I believe in Reiki now.
It's reassuring when something like you're like, oh shit, okay, like I was believing, and that's like, oh shit, it's in my face. Like, it's validating. Like, it is.
Yeah. And so it makes me feel good because I'm like, well, I'm helping someone, and in doing so, like, I don't know, I love making people happy. I'm a makeup artist, like, I love helping people, and it's pretty cool to put, like, I don't want to say hobby. I don't think spirituality is like a hobby of mine, but it's a big part of me.
Well, it's like another way for you to help also. Like, it's a different avenue.
Yeah.
Like the outer and the inner.
Exactly. Yeah. Doing Reiki with my makeup brushes. No, but yeah, anyway, so
book a makeup and Reiki session in one.
A combo session.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that.
That'd be dope.
Let me know if y'all would be interested in that. But so after last night, it just like was even more validating, and it just reassured me that I'm doing something, and everybody can do Reiki. Yeah. Like, if you feel called to do it, I recommend everybody try to at least take Reiki 1, because it's pretty life-changing, and I don't know. Well, I guess we'll get into like what I saw. So, okay, so do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, we could talk about mine.
Yeah, let's talk about yours.
Yeah. We can talk about
So
mine.
do you want to just kind of tell us how you felt beforehand and during and after?
So obviously I was skeptical a little bit, but like, cause Sandy went first, so I was kind of watching and like, but I was also not watching because I was like, okay, I'm gonna like give you like privacy kind of, but we were like all in the same room, so I was like, okay, let me just like chill on my phone for a little bit. So I heard kind of things that were happening, so I was like, okay, and I also tried not to watch because I didn't want anything to tell me how I should act or feel. So was completely, it would be my own experience. So we started like I laid down and cleansed the air and everything, or the space. And like, so right when you first started, the top of my head was like pulsing, like, and like, I was like, whoa, like my head's like, it feels like it's gonna be crushed a little bit, and then it stopped. And then like I'm like getting chills kind of talking about it actually right now. Like I was freezing the whole time. Like I was already kind of cold before. That's why I went upstairs to get my sweater, the one that Val got me. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna need my sweater, but I was still freezing, and I literally felt like nobody can see me. I felt my hands were like, my whole time I felt like my entire body was shaking. Like weren't. Freezing, shaking. Like anybody's ever been like outside on a super cold winter night and you're like sometimes like even my back will hurt because I'm shivering so hard because I'm cold. It felt like I was doing that, but you guys were like, you weren't shaking at all. And I was like, I was definitely shaking. I was definitely shaking. Like I felt like my jaw was like chatterbox, and like you guys were like, no, which I was like, whoa, that's nuts. Like, so I could like see like that was the thing too, is that we were talking about like what kind of light you were using, and like I was like, oh, mine were like pastels, and you were like, that's because like,
no, I think I told you first, or somebody asked me like what I used on you, or I was telling.
Oh, you said both.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I used, so with Reiki, when you're doing the healing, you're supposed to use certain lights, and your higher self tells me what lights you need. And for you, I was using a combination of each chakra light and white gold light.
Yeah. And I was like, mine were pastels.
I'm like, that makes sense.
They weren't super dark. They were like different pastels. And then there was something I didn't tell you. And you were like, yeah, there was kind of also like sparkles, like turquoise sparkles or pink sparkles, like glittery sparkles. And I was like, you saw that? I didn't even like, that's what I was like, okay, I'm in. Like, cause like I didn't tell you that. And I really did see those. Like it was these weird sparkly glittery stars that like were turquoise and pink and like different colors.
That's exactly what I saw.
So I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. And
it was also one point like, we're not gonna cry in this episode. we're not gonna cry. No. But there was a part where I felt a tear roll down my cheek, like all the way, like if you're laying down, sometimes you yawn and like a tear will roll down the side of your cheek, like to your ear. I felt that happen. But when I got up, like it was not wet. There was nothing to clean up. Like it was not wet. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I literally felt it come down. And I was like, oh, because I had a little bit of elaborate eyeliner on, and I was like, oh, there goes that. Like I remember thinking it
didn't budge.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, it was because there was no tear. It was just like I
could see you trying to find the tear. You're like. Like you were like, wait.
When I got up, I was like, oh, let me like clean it up and I was like, it's not fucking wet. Like what the it was wild.
It's so trippy. And so like those things for me, like just as much as it is for you, like because obviously in the back of my head I'm like, am I even doing anything? And you telling me your experience like validates that what I was just doing was actually working.
Yeah, it was that. And I think obviously we know at some point, like, or we know by now, like we're connected. Like,
oh yeah.
And we totally had like, we'll talk about like menstrual things. Like,
oh my gosh.
Okay. So I went off my pill. It was the first time that like in however many years, I'm not going to say, but it's been like over 15 years, like that it's the first time that I've ever felt like ovulation and like, we'll talk about it more in a future episode. Keep an eye out there. But it was the first time I felt it in over 15 years. And I was doubled over in bed, almost in tears, like in excruciating pain. And like, I don't like, I'm a cap. I don't stop work for anything. I work through it. And most of the day I was able to, but at some point I was like, I'm going to throw up and like faint because this pain is so bad. And it, like you and I had talked
Okay.
to plan.
I'll jump in this part because I'll tell my part. So I'm on my period at this point. It's like my heavy day is the third day. And that same day that was happening to you, what, like, just to be for y'all to know, she didn't know I was on my period.
I had no idea.
And I didn't know she was going through that. So that morning I woke up with excruciating cramps, like insane cramps that I haven't felt since I was like 13.
Yeah.
And I had to go to LA, which was like an hour and a half away, to get a COVID test, and I had to be there because I had a job the next day. So I could not miss this COVID test. So I was driving and I was in such excruciating pain that I even had to pull over on the side of the freeway because I literally felt like I was going to throw up or pass out. I was like hallucinating, on the verge of hallucinating. I was like it's not safe for me to be driving right now. I was literally on the verge of calling Val to like take me, but because I was so close on time, like I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And the whole day I was just like, I had work after that and I was just like battling through it. I finally took like some medicine, some ibuprofen, and it kind of helped. And then I came back. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, I like texted. Oh no, yeah, I think
We talked about something.
We talked about.
I think we were checking in to make sure like we were
Sandy's
cool for Sandy. So
yeah, and then I think you told me first.
yeah, I was like, dude, I've been dying all day. Like, and like I've sat for hours on end for tattoos. I've broken things. Like I've had like, I mean, it was my toe, but like I've had major surgeries, like, and nothing compared to that. I was taking I took ibuprofen, and which ibuprofen is like my go-to. Like, I know it's not like super good for you. It like messes with your liver. Like, but that's my go-to. That's what works for me. And I was taking those, and it wasn't even putting a dent in anything. And I was like, I'm like literally like, the only reason I didn't cry is because I didn't want a headache on top of it. Crying gives me a headache. So, but like that night I was washing my face, and like I was crying while washing my face because I was like, at least the cold water is like calming it down so I won't get a headache. And it was a few days of it being pretty bad, but I was still able to just kind of like work through it. But that day I was like, this is wild. Like I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, I was trying to explain it to my partner. I was like, it's like, I was like, for him, I was like, it's like getting kicked in the balls, like over and over and over. It like times 100 though.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even think it hurt.
Yeah.
Like it's even.
Because I was like, I asked him, I was like, do you feel it in your stomach? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, it's 100 times that. And I was like, I'm sorry, but if not, I'm sorry because it's my choice. Yeah. But if giving birth is half, or if this is half of giving birth, no fucking way. Like that ain't happening.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
It's no joke.
Yeah, it was so bad. And I was like, I think we're like sympathy pain out here.
We're definitely like on the same wavelength. Yeah. With something, with everything. Yeah. With everything. So that was trippy. That was trippy.
And I was just like, I don't know. And even more so, there's tons of other signs, but even more so, like the glittery lights I was just like, I didn't even say that. Like, because I was like, I wasn't sure that I actually, like, I wasn't sure that I saw them. I saw them, but like, I was like, kind of like, what is that? Like, yeah, it was just weird.
And I'm not sure what it meant.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think with time, if you ask your guides, I think they'll tell you what it means, because there's usually a meaning behind everything. But I just remember seeing that, because sometimes when you're doing Reiki, things will come up, like things that the person you're performing Reiki on is going through. Like I'll feel, from the Reiki sessions I've done in the past, all 6, 7 of them, there's been times where I'm like trying to clean out like a throat chakra, and I feel it in my throat while I'm doing it. And and you also experienced something with your third eye, right?
Oh yeah, I was gonna let you finish. And I was like, there was something funny too, but go ahead.
Yeah, when I was in your third eye was like real calcified, and when I was cleaning it out, I like felt your like I or not, I didn't feel. I saw like basically like another eye. Like I know our pineal gland doesn't look like exactly like an eye, but it looked like a literal eye. And for some reason, it was like a different color than your eye color. And it was, and I sometimes can see words, and I saw like written down. I saw I want to see, and you were like blinking like continuously while I was cleaning it, and then I was like when I finished cleaning it, it was like
I was laughing because at some point too, I don't know if that's when you were doing it, but at some point, like it felt like, obviously nobody could see me, but like it's like I felt like
pinching.
Like pinching, like so, like say you have like a blanket and you like poke it from the other side, like it's like poking, like it felt like you were like pinching the middle of my forehead and like pulling on it. I felt a pulling there, and I was like, "What is that?" Like,
Yeah.
it was just like, dude, like
It's so cool. I like want to do this all the time.
Yeah, it
like,
was really cool.
Want everyone.
It was interesting too. Like obviously, I'm not gonna super go into my partners, but like I know how guarded he can be. So it was funny that like that exactly came up. Also, is that he was very like guarded.
Yeah, he was probably like the most challenging one I've had so far. But I'm happy that I was able to experience that, because I'm sure that'll happen in the future too, like with certain people. But that just means that they need more sessions. And yeah, it was really cool.
It was cool. And then Sandy was like out, pretty much almost out, because she was so relaxed.
Sandy was like, I feel like I just smoked so much. It was cool.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, but it opened it up, because it gave me so many. This morning I was like, oh, there's like so many things I want to do now, like spiritually. There's like things I want to ask, there's things I want to look into, there's things that like you told me that basically where the blockages were, and I was like, okay, how can I continue to open those things up and like work on those things, because obviously there's a problem there. So I was like, oh, I did research, so
Yeah.
like let me look for what I can figure out on my own. I don't know, it was just cool. It was really cool, and I don't know,
It was our little Reiki party.
I was joking, we went to bed after you guys left, and I was like, what are our Friday night, or what did our Saturday nights turn into? Wait, what is it, Saturday's night? Oh, Friday nights.
Friday night.
Yeah, I'm like, what do our Friday nights turn into?
We were all listening to
Like the Hertz music.
the Hertz music and jamming to it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we used to always do movie nights on Friday. Well, we still do. It's whatever, we do whatever. But I was like, oh, this is a different kind of Friday night.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it was really cool though.
I had so much fun doing it. And I'm really happy.
And like, I'll say like, because you have like a very good energy. So it's nice to like, it felt comfortable. So it was
I'm
like,
glad.
yeah, it was, I'm like, everybody, Jenny has you have a great energy. You have since we've like reconnected. So I'm like, that's
Thanks, friend.
very
So do you.
comfortable. Well, thanks. Stop it.
I mean, that's good that we like each other's energy. Imagine we hated each other's guts and we're like,
It might be more drama.
hi. Hi, Kels.
Ew.
Welcome to One Thing Queer.
I don't like it.
It's not me.
Okay. Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. We don't have that dynamic.
Yeah, no, it's very good. But I don't know, like, we were kind of talking about this a little bit before, but it's just, it's that thing where like you, not preach, but like there's an energy about you that is kind of what I saw in the beginning. And I was like, well, what is that? So it made me want to dive deeper into whatever you were doing. And that's the kind of thing that like, I think that's the kind of thing that a lot of religions they think they're doing, but they're not
They're
doing.
very much lacking in.
So not that this was like not a religion, but there was an energy to you, and I was like, you seem peaceful. Even though I know your life is chaotic, but there's a lot of you still have good energy, and you're never really like super downtrodden or like mad at the world, like, because there's a lot of times you could be, and that doesn't come through. And me being in that same position when we first started reconnecting, and being so mad at the world, and just like having my own issues that I was working on, that like I was like, oh, what's that? Like, how do I get to that point? And I think that's where that spreads.
I'm so proud of you for being like coming so far in such a short period of time, it's trippy to me that I mean, it's not trippy because I know that time is like irrelevant, but it's been really satisfying seeing you go on this journey and to see how much you've grown and changed like without like I mean it's not like I needed or wanted you to change at all.
Yeah.
But it's been nice to see you evolve.
Yeah.
Like not even change. I feel like you're just evolving.
I feel like the change is a bad word when it turns into something when you become a worse person. And I'm like, no, I've said it a couple times, like my life is 90% different. Like, and I'm like, I'm a little bit like, we talked about a little bit with Sandy, like, why didn't this happen like 10 years ago? What the heck? Like, but it's all in the right timing. And I mean, I'm grateful for it happening now. And it just, a lot of things feel right. And it's the first time it's ever happened. So I'm like,
I'm happy for you because you do look very happy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we all have our off days.
I feel like I look happy though. I feel like I look like, I'm like, oh, like I can like look in the mirror and I'm like, oh, you look happy. And like, I've never really, I mean, how many times like do we not say to ourselves, I am happy? Not a lot of people say that out loud. Like, oh my God, I'm so happy right now. And like, I actually like said it to my brother today. I was like, because he was asking me how I'm doing because like it's my parents moved and stuff. And I was like, I'm no offense parents, but like, I'm happy. I'm cool. Like if you would have asked me a year ago, or even it was a year ago that it like spiraled me into therapy. But like, if you would ask me 2 years ago if I would have been okay, I would have been like, no, I'm not okay if they move. Like, but I'm really okay.
Yeah.
And they're thriving and like, it's worked out for the best. I mean, the going to visit is difficult.
Yeah, right now especially.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm cool. I'm happy. It's nice.
It's not even that you look happy, you feel happy. Like your energy feels like happy and at ease. Like even when both of us have like stressful days and hard days, because I mean, it's not always like rainbows and butterflies, but you know, at the core of it, like, you know, you're happy.
It's a perfect example is that like, so I was supposed to go get my hair done today and she canceled because she was sick, which I'm thankful for because don't work when you're sick. But last time that happened, I was like livid, like no understanding, no empathy, nothing. Like, and I couldn't control it. And this time I was like, okay, see you next week. Like, it's just that my responses to things there's sometimes where it still catches me and I'm like mad, you know, nobody's perfect. So it catches me and I'm like, okay, burn down the world because I'm mad now. And this one little thing set me off for no reason. And, yeah, it's not so often anymore. And that's really nice because there's I don't know if anybody has those, you get in those moods and you just want to burn it to the ground.
Yeah, and it's like you're carrying that energy gets heavy, especially throughout time. It's like, you know, why carry it? And then when you realize, like, oh, like when things, it's all putting things into perspective, and then just realizing like what really, like really matters.
That, and I think what's really the biggest difference also is the amount of energy I choose to put into that now. Is there's like, because we've mentioned it before, like seeking things out to piss yourself off. And now I'm just kind of like, I don't want to deal with that. It's gonna put me in a crappy mood. And I also am like, I'm not somebody who can bounce back as quickly. Like, I can't always let things go. So I'm like, why don't I just not put myself in that situation in the first place? And so I'm much more conscious of that. And I make a conscious decision to continue that energy and not go looking for things to, you know, disrupt that. If that makes sense.
I love that.
Yeah. I would never do that before. I'd be like, oh no, like I feel like being mad, so I'm gonna make myself mad for dumb reasons. I don't know, for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, I used to do that in like relationships. I used to do that in like everyday life, or even like with my parents, and with being spiritual, and especially now after taking my Reiki class and really just seeing the bigger picture of things. I just like, my mind is so open now that it's not even just my mind. I feel like my heart is so much more open. And I think that just comes from healing.
Yeah.
And
my capacity for empathy and sympathy is far greater than I've ever had before. Not only because of the spirituality, but therapy helped also. And like, also, like I've said before too, like I can see both sides of things. Like we were watching Euphoria, and like obviously like Rue is like a drug addict in that, and like my partner was kind of like, oh, like she really makes me mad, and I'm like, I get, like, I'm like, she's an addict, like it doesn't make everything they do right, but it's a disease and it's something they can't control. Like it's, there's different levels, and I understand that if people would have addicts in their life, they're like, no, fuck you, they've done this to me. Like I totally get that. That feeling is totally valid. But I also, the other side of it is that like they're also human beings, and like I was trying to explain that, and we actually watched the like special episodes, and actually her sponsor explains that like, it's a disease. Like I don't know why this came out, but like it's a disease. And I was asking him, I was like, I told my partner, I was like, he explained it better than I could, like, and he was like, I get it. He's like, it still just makes me mad in the show, because it's a show, like not for real people. But I've also not really ever really had to deal with somebody with this substance, so with a substance problem. So I mean, not a super serious one anyway. So I don't know. But in the past I would have been like, you're cut off.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with this. You're cut off. But my capacity for empathy is bigger.
Yeah. Same here. I think with taking my therapies with my aunt, I used to be very much like that, in the sense of like dismissing people and like, no, fuck you, like automatically, like I'd be like, no, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, you're garbage or whatever. And I know this is gonna probably be controversial to some people, and some people aren't gonna agree with me, and that's totally okay. But I asked, I'm like, what do I do when someone is such a like bad person in my eyes and is hateful and is like spreading hate, and like it really gets to me? And something she told me was, think of them as their younger self. Someone isn't born like evil. That's kind of like put in through time, a human being, like, with their experiences, with the way they're raised. And she's like, try to remember them and try to see them that way. And now whenever I'm in public and I see strangers, I look at strangers very differently now, because I'm like, I don't really see them as strangers. I kind of see them, I'm going to get really deep right now. I kind of see them as myself. I'm like, oh, this is going to sound so weird, but I look at strangers and I'm like, hey, that's me as a man, or that's me as so-and-so. And then I start to like wonder, and like, what's your experience been like? What has your life been? Because and my beliefs is like, I believe we're all one. I believe we're all part of the same plan, the same like substance of whatever the universe is. I think we're all
sparkly glittery lights.
I think that's all of us. Like we all form each other into like God, basically. Like we're all part of the plan. So I like see life in that way. I know this is like really, really deep, but I guess
it is where we do you remember, I don't know if you ever watched Degrassi, it's like, Degrassi, it goes there.
It goes there. ...
Degrassi is my favorite, by the way. So
it's a jam.
Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know. So it's really helped me have, like you said, empathy for humanity, and even in really fucked up situations, with like social justice and obviously like LGBTQ rights. Like there's a lot of shittiness that happens to us in our community, and there's a lot of shittiness that happens in the Black community that is just not fair. And I wholeheartedly believe that we need to fight for justice. I see it in a way where I'm like, how can I be proactive rather than just like input extra to the plan? Input hate into the situation where like there's enough hate. There's already a lot of like polarizing effects in the universe, in our world, that I don't really want to contribute to the polarization. I want to better it by trying to be the best version of myself and being progressive when it comes to doing something about it.
That's kind of how I think of it too, is that like it doesn't help anybody if I'm also out there being angry also, because no one listens when you're just yelling. I mean, think about all the people who've yelled dumb crap to you. You didn't listen to them because it's dumb. Like, but it's
like yelling hate.
Yes.
is what we mean.
Yes,
like
yeah.
Yelling for like justice, we're all for that.
Yes, like
but yelling for hate.
Yes,
and contributing.
But like that's, to me, that's all done in a form of love, though. Like the chanting when people are protesting, that's all. It's love. It's for a cause. It's for, equality, equity. It's for for purposes, for important purposes. But yelling crap to invoke a rage response from somebody else is, you don't listen to that, right? So we've talked about that before, that like I think we both on the same page were like, we want to do it with love, and it's very hard to, and I don't expect those marginalized communities to do that. I don't expect other LGBTQ members to do that.
Nope.
And I feel like if we can do it, if we feel strong enough to do it, we can be the brunt of continuing to express love when love shouldn't, is not quote unquote deserved in that moment. And I think that it's not on those marginalized communities to brunt that, but if we can, that would be our purpose, or like our purpose is what I meant.
Yeah, I think it's important to hold space for people that have like gone through bullshit in this world, and that's what we're trying to say is like it's our responsibility as people with privilege to make space for those people.
Yes,
the way we go about it is by trying to be proactive.
Yes, I just mean that like I don't expect marginalized communities to do it with love. You have every right to be mad.
Oh yeah,
I don't expect you to have empathy and sympathy for people who have done horrendous things to you in your community. I don't expect that. But what I'm saying is that because I can do that, we will take the brunt. I will take the brunt of giving that love to try to change minds in place of that
aggressive way.
Yeah, in an aggressive way, in place of that, not to speak over them, but because so they don't have to deal with that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's also up to those people. If those people are like, I don't need you to speak for me, or I don't need your help, that's all, by all means, that also works.
Yeah,
go ahead, feel free to tell me that as well. Like,
yeah,
it's that's the point, is we need to listen to those voices instead.
Agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been kind of crazy because I was the first person to like go searching for TikToks that pissed me off of like, racist people. And now it just like, angry comment and shit like that. But it's like, am I going to get through to people through commenting? No. I'm not. Yeah. So let me actually be proactive. And in doing so, like doing it in a different manner, because something's not working.
Yeah.
There's a reason why there hasn't been, why we're still on the same page, pretty much. And
going backwards,
and going
if
backwards.
anything.
Yeah, and going backwards. So it's like, let me approach it in a different way and see if it works. And honestly, it actually opens doors to actually have conversations that are uncomfortable. And I think it's my best way to do it. And it's my, it's just my way of doing it. Yeah. And it's not going to be like that for everyone. But personally, that's just kind of what I've kind of come to terms with.
Yeah, I agree. That's, I totally agree.
We're all over the place.
All over, but it's we were talking about like it's just what flows. Nothing's planned. It's like we're going to talk about this, and we always end up talking about something different every single time.
This was supposed to be a recap of Sandy, and we did briefly, but we went to Reiki, and now we went into just a spiritual talk. It's just become,
and social justice. It is what we just flow, and that's what that's what happens.
One thing queer. We need to change the name. One thing witchy queer.
Witchy queer spiritual.
I mean, at this point, it's like, if you're still listening, I'm pretty sure you dabble in this, or you.
It's still one thing queer. We're queer. It's still, this is what we have to talk about. Because I also, like, I mean, we just I feel like there were more than just that also. Like we have other dimensions to like
absolutely
to us. So yeah, I don't know.
It's our podcast evolving and it's us evolving as human beings. And I've been listening to our like old episodes. It's funny, I say old episodes and
like,
it's just like
20
a few months back.
It feels like, really though, it feels like light years ago.
It does.
Really weird.
I know. We're like, I don't even think we're at the halfway point
of
our year anniversary. No. So I don't know. We're just really excited and we're grateful for whoever still listens. And
I feel like when we go on those tangents, somebody needed to hear that. And like there was a like kind of something that I resonated with. Sandy was talking about how she is like, should I post that? Should I not post that on Instagram and stuff? And there was a story I put up the other day that like I deleted it like 3 times before I let it stay up because I was like, I don't know if she said this and I don't know. But I was like, that's what I needed to hear today. And like her words could have been more inclusive. And that's what was bothering me. Because I was like, no, like I don't mean it. But the rest of it, I liked what she was saying because it was about, you know, we don't need to take up less space to be valid in this world. And it's just something I needed to hear because I've spent my entire life trying to take up less space than I do. And like, it was just something. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it up because I liked it. And like, I know the people that like know me are not going to take offense to anything. So, and then somebody messaged me and was saying like, oh, I needed to hear that. And I was like, okay, like
it was worth it.
It was supposed to be up there. Like, and I'm sure other people needed to hear it. They just didn't say it. So when this stuff comes out, I feel like it's somebody needed to hear it out there, whether it was ourselves or somebody else. I feel like it came out for a reason. I mean, yeah.
And I think I've just like learned through time that it's okay to disagree with people as long as you're a good person. And I think we've been saying that since we started the podcast. And I think we very much agree on that. It's like, it's okay to have differing opinions. Like, you know, when it comes to like, you know, spirituality and like different things, it's okay as long as you're not hateful.
I've said before, like, I don't need you to believe everything I believe.
No.
You could think all the spirituality stuff is bullshit. You can think that, that's fine. I just need you to care about people. That's what I care about, and that's what I hold most, is people caring about people and being empathetic. I feel like so many people have no empathy or no sympathy and cannot ever fathom putting putting themselves in other people's shoes. And I feel like so many people, we would benefit so much more as a society if people put themselves in other people's shoes and just like, I mean, hey, we're all one paycheck away from being like homeless. Everybody, like everybody feels that. Like a lot of us are living paycheck to paycheck, and like there's just, I don't know. And there's a lot of times where people don't see it unless it happens to their family, and it's just like I wish we would all have more empathy and think. I mean, even us, I'm sure there's things we could work on, and like
we're not perfect.
Yeah, of course. And I just wish a lot of people would. It doesn't have to happen to you to be a crisis or valid. Like,
agreed.
Yeah, that's what I wish.
Yeah, me too. And we're putting it out into the universe.
Yeah, there you go.
So we just really want to thank everybody who has stuck around and keep sticking around. And we have very exciting things coming up in the next year.
Yeah, I think our next episode is do I want to say it? Oh, our next episode is going to be a vulva episode. Vulva. All things vulva.
Oh, and you got me a little yoni.
It's a yoni crystal necklace.
It's a yoni crystal necklace.
I got them. Oh, I got them because I was like, oh, early birthday present. I'm gonna go shopping.
Thank you, friend. It's so beautiful, and labradorite is supposed to like enhance like your spiritual gifts.
It was when because I got them from Xanthia, and when she had them, I was like, do I want that crystal? And like, I wasn't quite sure about that crystal. And it's because of the sessions, it was perfect. Perfect timing.
Dude.
Perfect.
I love labradorite. I literally got one from Candace because we made an order with Candace. And she like put in like a few free crystals for us. And one of them was a labradorite. And Val like took most of them. And she didn't want the labradorite, and I'm like, that's the one I wanted. So pretty. And I don't know why, like I didn't know what it did, but I was like, I really like this one. And then we went to this antique store in Riverside, and I got this like cluster. And it was so beautiful. And I'm like, I think that's like one of my crystals that like I'm really called to. So I just think it's so funny that you got me the labradorite.
There, she had other ones, and I was like, no, I think this one. Like, I think this, because I was trying to think of what you would wear also. So I was like, oh, this one. And I was like, dude, so it was supposed to be an early birthday present, but I was like, we're going to do the vulva episode, and it's like perfect. Like, I don't know. So that's a little behind the scenes, I guess. But I think even... this will be heard after we do this, but I think we were going to put up a little post and see if anybody has any questions.
Y'all, okay. So we have...
I'm all, they're going to hear this after, so don't...
No, I know, but I wanted to say, like, we have the phone thing now. So,
yes.
So if y'all want a Q&A...
Phone Q&A?
Please follow us on Instagram if you have not. Or if you don't have Instagram and you're listening in and you'd like to ask us a question, like a voice question, we're going to be taking those, and we really want to do a Q&A. I know we talk so much about ourselves, but if you need advice on something, if you want, some questions answered about spirituality or about Reiki, we will answer them to our best knowledge. Or
if you want to share your experience, maybe we haven't told your side yet because we're just us. Maybe you want your
voice heard.
Yeah, your experience out there.
Yeah, we really want to share and connect with y'all, and like we want you to be a part of the podcast, and that's the easiest way for us to like get to everybody. So please, 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 if you feel called to, send us like one of those voice memo things on Instagram through our DMs. Or even if you don't want to record your voice and you don't want to be heard on the podcast, if you just want to send a question in, just let us know if you'd like to be anonymous. There's so many ways you could reach us. So please, please, please feel free.
Yeah, it's... well, please.
Yeah, please, please. Well, we're going to do posts on the stories, so... Please interact with those and let us know, because that'll help us out on like figuring out what you want to learn about or what kind of guests you'd like us to have on. If you know someone that would be interested in sharing their story of their queer experience, of honestly anything, like we're more than open.
Yeah, I love also small businesses. So like small business, crafty. It doesn't even have to be crafty. Like plug your small business. Like, I mean, not that we're like huge, but like I like small, like I try to only shop that way. So like I want to know cool little things that you're making.
Yeah. Especially if it's a queer entrepreneur or a Black entrepreneur. Like we really want to just support like our communities and like, fuck capitalism.
Yes. So yeah, just reach out.
Sorry, I had to stretch.
I know, dude.
Nice ASMR there.
I keep yawning. Anyways, but yeah.
I guess we'll do our socials.
Socials, yeah. So if you want to reach out to us, follow, or if you are not following already, go ahead and follow us on One Thing Queer on Instagram. And my personal one is SpexRayX.
And my personal Instagram is at Jenny Lynn Bouton. And my witchy/Reiki page is at Celestial Light Witch.
Yeah. You can also email us. If you don't have Instagram, you can email us at onethingqueer@gmail.com. So that works.
That works. And we
or our TikTok.
Yeah, our TikTok. Our TikTok is at One Thing Queer Podcast. And we're on there, and we got a lot of followers. We're getting close to 1,000.
Oh my God. Once we get 1,000, we can like go live and meet other people. Oh, so cool.
We're so excited.
Yeah.
We appreciate every single one of you. If you're listening in from TikTok, hello, welcome to the fam, and thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Don't say anything about my dancing abilities.
Only great things, please. And also, please, 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 if you want to help out the podcast, if you're an avid listener, it would help us out so much if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify.
Yeah. All right. Well, shameless plugs done.
Yeah, shameless plugs done. That was a mouthful.
But yeah, I think that's it for this week. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's it for this week. So we are excited to talk about vulvas next week.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that.
Definitely.
All right, y'all.
All right.
We'll see you all next week.
Yep. Bye.
Graphics by BexUniverse.co. Music by Jacody.